Okay, everyone, welcome to our Healthy Together time. We are so excited to have you on our call. My name is Marci Crawford, and I will be co-hosting this call with Jen Walker. We are both certified Optavia coaches, and we're excited to have you on. So whether you are a client of Optavia or a coach, or someone who's just hopping on to improve their health and listening in, we're really excited to have you here because we have some great content that we're going to be discussing tonight. And before we dive in to all that we have to share in this awesome content, I wanted to take a minute and go over the 4 components of Optavia. So I've actually been coaching for 8 years now, and I have noticed that my clients who are the most successful long-term are my clients who really apply and utilize all 4 components of our program. So we're going to just do a quick reminder of those 4 components. And as I go through it, I want you to kind of grade yourself and ask yourself, how are you doing in applying all of these components? Okay, so first is our health coach. Okay, everyone within Optavia gets a coach who's there to be a guide to help you along your journey. And as coaches, we're just here to cheer you on and provide that extra accountability. And it's really interesting. Optavia actually did a clinical study a few years ago, and they found that clients who connected with their health coach over 75% of the time lost twice as much weight than those who didn't. You guys, that is what I call statistically significant. So be sure and check in with your coach. Second is our Habits of Health transformational system. I really encourage my clients to spend 5 minutes a day or at least 20 minutes a week in their life book, because really your body is always going to match up to where your mind is set. So, you know, if you're losing weight, that's awesome. But we also need to make sure we lose that weight mentally. And so that education is so, so important. The third part is our Optavia community. You guys, I love that you're here on our webinar tonight. Our community is amazing. And I love coming on these calls because they give me that extra motivation and boost to continue on my own personal health journey. And what's really exciting within our Healthy Together group, actually in 2 weeks on September 13th, we are going to be starting our Choose Your Hard Health Challenge, including a new app that's going to be amazing. So we're going to be posting details in our Healthy Together group soon. But reach out to your coach or the person who invited you for all the details, because it's going to be fun. And then last but not least, our Optavia fuelings. Oh my goodness, I love how the Optavia fuelings really just make nutrition simple, easy, and so convenient. During the weight loss phase, it kind of makes it goof proof. And during maintenance, it just helps to keep that going so well. Anyways, I know I love it. And all my girls, we love having that easy, convenient fuelings. And, you know, if you're a client on Optavia, we've all learned that health really starts in the kitchen, right? Not in the gym. In fact, I actually love this quote by Dr. A. He says, the exercise enthusiasts try to exercise themselves to a healthy weight. But people who focus on exercise tactics will find themselves disappointed. There are health benefits associated with exercise, but it's hard to lose much weight through exercise alone. To really lose weight, you would need to do 90 minutes of strenuous exercise a day. Okay, you guys, let's think about this. That means like you would have to run 35 miles to lose 1 pound of fat. Okay, so let's say you want to lose a pound a week. That means you would have to run 5 miles 7 days a week. And that's assuming that you're not eating more to compensate for all the extra calories that you're burning, right? Does that get anyone else exhausted besides me? But isn't it interesting? How many of you have ever tried to lose weight by just ramping up your exercise and focusing on exercise alone? Okay, put in the one in the chat or blink if you've ever done that. Oh, totally. Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because honestly, I was that person before I found Optavia. I lost my baby weight after baby number 2 by really focusing on exercise. I was an avid runner and you could say I ran to eat, right? But it was so interesting, even though I lost my weight, and I did make some slight modifications to my diet as well. But even after I had lost my weight, I still, like, a 1 to 2 hour nap was mandatory for my kids because I had to have one in order to keep up with them. And so it was really interesting to me when I found Optavia after baby number 3. I ended up utilizing our nursing mothers program and lost 35 pounds on the program. What was so cool is I was not overly focused on exercise. And with a newborn, thank heaven, it wasn't overly focused, because those early mornings are hard when you're nursing. But what was so interesting, after I lost my weight with Optavia, I was amazed at how much energy I had from learning how to balance my blood sugars and learning how to eat every 2 to 3 hours. It was incredible. So I had an extra 1 to 2 hours every day. You guys, how is a game changer? But really, with exercise, the way I thought about exercise changed even more, because when we're running so we can eat rather than the opposite, it really creates a mental block that can prevent us from creating extraordinary health. Okay, so I want to talk just a second here about exercise. I know we all know that exercise is so important, and implementing it, though, can be really challenging. Even though all of us know that exercise is a huge benefit, implementing it can kind of be hard. And you know what? You're not alone. In fact, Dr. A shares that the numbers speak for themselves. 60% of us get no regular activity. 25% of us get no activity at all. And 50% of those who begin exercise quit within 6 months. 90% of all exercise equipment is used and relegated to a coat rack or a cat perch 1 year after purchase. All right, so you guys, how do we beat these odds? Well, I love Dr. A continues, and he says, studies have shown that those that are most likely to initiate and sustain an increase in activity and exercise are those that connect immediate benefits to their exercise. Okay, so I love this. Really is the habit loop from what Dr. A talks about in the Life Book in element 3 and 4, and really connecting to that reward. All right, so I want you guys to think for yourself. What are some immediate rewards or benefits that you are seeking? So for me, I know when I exercise and when I'm adding more physical movement, it's really like feeling energized, feeling a sense like of accomplishment, like, wow, I did that. And knowing that exercise is a tool and helping me create that longevity and health. And I love, in the chat thread, add it to the chat. What are some of the benefits that you're seeking? I love Amber, endorphins, dopamine, the exercise high. Mila, dancing just makes me happy. So true. But I know some of you may be thinking, or struggling. In fact, how many of you, when you think about exercise, it's like, but I don't have the time. Anyone ever come up with that? Like, I just don't have time to go to the gym, right? Put a 2 in the chat if that's ever been your challenge. Okay, so for those of you who struggle with that, I love this. So you can't go to the gym. Now what? right? Sometimes I feel like there's a box over my head. I couldn't make it to the gym. What do I do now? Well, hopefully tonight we want to really help you think outside the box and how you can implement more movement and activity. So this is where I actually love element 17 in the life book. Dr. A, he shares and says that our plan is about simplicity. It's about weaving movement into the tapestry of everyday life, ramping up at your own pace and within your own comfort level. It's about finding little nooks and crannies in your routine that lend themselves to movement. And Dr. A, he often refers to this as our NEAT points. So NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So we have so much more time during the day to add these NEAT points than we have to go to the gym. In fact, you guys, you could burn more calories through adding NEAT points than you could by spending 30 minutes at the gym, obviously depending on the exercise you do. Okay, so page 341 in the life book actually outlines 6 categories and ways that you can add more movement. Dr. A shares that through his NEAT point systems, you could be burning an additional 200 calories each day without taking a step inside the gym. Guys, seriously, that is neat, right? And many of these NEAT points can be done through things like habit stacking. So for example, every morning I always have an Optavia oatmeal. It's my favorite. And when I make my oatmeal, I put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. And that's always what I do. So I've actually stacked that habit of microwaving my oatmeal with some NEAT points. So typically while I'm waiting for my microwave, I do some squats. So think about for yourself, what are some habit stacking things that you can do to add more NEAT points? And feel free to add those into the chat. In fact, I know I've heard Amber Smithson say that she does toe risers every time she brushes her teeth. And I know I have seen some coaches in our Zoom calls when we have Zoom meetings walking on their treadmill. And really, it's so simple to add more NEAT points. In fact, I love these. I do 20 jump squats before hopping in the shower. And one thing I have done, like after my kids watch a movie, I'll tell them they got to run the stairs 10 times. So there's so many different ways that we can add more movement into our everyday life. And that could begin by standing rather than sitting while you're talking on the phone. Right? Something so simple. Or when you're going to the grocery store and going shopping, rather than parking really up close, find the farthest parking spot you can and walk in. Add some more walking into your day. And I know for me, as I was reading through element 17 in the life book, my mind started thinking about different ways I could add these NEAT points. And you guys, I got to show you. I actually bought a balance chair so that I could be in my meetings and I could be listening in and working on my core and my stance, my posture, and burning some extra calories. So I really have loved this. It's been so fun. So I'd encourage you to take some time and think about what are some ways you can add more NEAT points during your day. And in doing so, what are those immediate rewards that you are gaining by doing that? Now, I'm really excited to turn the time over to Jen Walker as she gets more in detail about intentional exercise and the steps to adding that into your life. Go ahead, Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen Walker, and I love what Marci was sharing with us. The baby steps to movement consistently throughout our day can really make a difference for the NEAT points. And I want to share some ideas with you about movement that's a little bit more formal. So I want to start by sharing a few quotes with you. Our bodies are an amazing feat of engineering. It's designed to do all the things that we need it to do. 206 bones, 350 joints, ball and socket, hinge and pivot joints, and gliding joints, 600 different muscles, You also have an amazing engine inside, 78 organs, 11 organ systems, and this is all coordinated with exquisite sensors and systems like a chemistry system. Like, wow, right? What is exercise? Dr. A says physical activity happens anytime your body's in motion. Exercise, on the other hand, is planned movement that's more vigorous and leads to improvement in overall fitness. So he talks about the 3 levels of exercise activity thermogenesis. Level 1 is walking and fitness program. Level 2 is resistance program. And level 3 is boosting your workout high intensity interval training. Has anyone heard the phrase opposition in all things? Bodies are designed to become stronger with opposition. Bones need pressure in order to stay strong, and muscles will atrophy if they aren't used. Okay, can you guys drop in the chat what is something that's amazing about your body? So I was thinking about this question. I love my arms. So what is your favorite? I love that people are saying that they're strong and that they can do handstands. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so when Marci and I started to put together this topic, I thought, oh my gosh, my brain went immediately to formal exercise at the gym. And I'm not the one to be speaking about how to exercise at the gym. I needed to think outside the box, and I took a minute to think about my personal experience. I've actually worked hard at being consistent with walking daily. And I've really worked on micro habits of exercise, and I've built on them. So I suffer from diastasis recti, and it was where your abs separate. And I've taken a lot of time, months at a time, to work on my inner core strength. So habit stacking is the best. And I've worked on stretching. I can still do the splits. And I have an unwritten rule that before I shower, I have to do 20 jump squats if I haven't formally exercised that day, or a quick 100 lunges. You guys, I don't know what I would be doing or where I would be if I had 0 exercise in my life. So I'd actually love to chat with you tonight about this topic, because I am nothing special. You can do what's right for you and build on it. So take away all the guilt and bulk up on empowerment. You guys can find something that will work for you. So I love how Dr. A talks about structural tension. And I would love you to go to the page in your book on page 162 in your life book, or just grab a paper and pen or pencil. And we are going to end up doing an exercise structural tension chart together. So while you're grabbing your pen and paper, I'll give a little disclaimer. So I'm not a personal trainer. Please consider the reality of your situation. Consult with your doctor before implementing new strategies. You can also use a resource from YouTube or a personal trainer to be sure that you have the right form and create a plan that will help you achieve your goals. Okay. Again, we're going to talk about structural tension. So do you guys see my Optavia yellow elastic and how it stretches? And when you stretch it, you can propel it, right? There's tension when you apply intention. On the left of your paper, I want you guys to list the current reality. And on the very right of your paper, I want you to list optimization goal or vision. Okay, and then there's the middle, and that's where you're going to put the steps in between to get to your goal. So I'm going to share with you 4 steps of how to create your own structural tension chart. And we're going to start with step 1. Identify your current reality in how you move your body. Again, what's your current reality, not what you wish, right? When we set goals, we need to consider our individual needs. Are you old? Are you young, fit, injured? Do you have the habit of exercise, intentional movement already in place? Are you actually going to the gym? Okay, so write out that current reality. Step number 2, what would be an overall goal for you? What is your overall goal to where Dr. A talks about our optimization phase for the end goal? So what's the future you going to be doing differently? How do you want to move your body? What will the future you feel like? That's a good question. And what would your future healthy self love to do and be excited to implement? So put in the chat, what will you be doing 1 year from now when it comes to healthy movement, or how do you want to feel? For me, I love pickleball. So I will be playing pickleball, feeling strong and all that. So you guys said in the chat, yoga 3 times a week, midline exercises to improve thinking and learning. I love that. Running a marathon, I'm proud of you. And stronger core, jump higher for volleyball. I love it. Thanks, guys. Okay, we're gonna move on to step 3. So there's a large gap between your current reality and where you wanna be. And that leads us to step 3. What steps will you need to take in order to get you to your goals? So I'm sharing with you guys my own personal experience. On the left, my current reality, I have a weak core, I walk daily, I don't do weights daily, I do lunges, I do jump squats, I stretch out about every other day, I have neck, back, and wrist pain, and I can do 1 pull-up. So on the right, my optimization goal, I want to be able to do 4 pull-ups with just hanging consecutively. I want to strengthen my core so I can hold any of my 6 children and stand for long periods of time without pain. Walking 1 mile or more per day and doing a pull-up every day, losing 3 or 4 pounds to be able to do the pull-ups easier, and working on posture to create repetitions for every 66 days. So those are the middle steps that I just went through. Okay, guys, that was pretty fun. So work on that structural tension chart. And now I would love to share with you guys some applicational ideas for you to literally get started. So remember my disclaimer, and these are just a few ideas to get you excited. So my brain totally needs simplicity. And Jared Smithson says to get out of breath every day. And so the easiest way for me to do this is to just run my stairs. And that's super easy. So he also gave me the idea to work out muscle groups from the ground up. And I'm a visual person. So I have a chart that I'll share in Healthy Together that's really helped me break things down and have simplicity. This talks about the 7 major muscle groups. And also we'll want to work both sides of the muscle groups bilaterally. So like quads and hamstrings, your back and your abs, different things like that. So it speaks about this info from the Life book in page 367, if you want more. Okay, we're going to go to step number 4, obstacles. What obstacles can get in your way of your exercise goal? And how can the obstacle be the way, or how can you overcome it? So limbic system, who's got one of those? I think we all do. And your brain is talking you out of your micro habit goal. So here's another obstacle: injuries that maybe make it more difficult for you. Or time, maybe the problem isn't actually the time, but being efficient and planning what to do. All or nothing mentality, mindset, and the past relationships of you and exercise. So now it's personal responsibility time. I would love you guys to drop in the chat if you are willing to be committed to the following assignment. Add a comment on the live stream playback in Healthy Together group with a photo of your personalized structural tension chart found on page 162, and tag your coach. So exercise is something, so put a 1 in the chat if you're going to do that. I don't see anybody. Exercise is something that I am not amazing at, but I'm grateful for the baby steps that I've really taken to work towards optimal health, and intention matters. Let's do this together and think outside the box. So right now I'm excited to share with you Mila, and she's going to share her inspiring story.
Thanks so much, Jen. Hi, I'm Mila, and I have loved learning about the NEAT part of the program because that's where I first noticed my baby steps of improvement physically. I felt much better when I was walking, and then when I was sitting and standing up, my knees weren't hurting so much, so I love that. So far, my husband and I have released over 100 pounds together. But before we began our health journey, we were living a very unhealthy life. We began talking about it during the Christmas holidays because our parents lived 20 minutes from each other, so we were house hopping, visiting families, always eating, never hungry. And I was just so full hours after eating that I was not able to sleep at night because I was just still so full. At the time, food was a coping mechanism for us. It was a celebration tool, and we didn't get much physical movement. We were not in a good place with our health, and something needed to change. I was willing to try any means to get healthy, well, the good ones. So I started looking around at different options, and I really wanted something that would actually be a change in lifestyle. I was truly looking for a better way to live. So my huge question with everything that I was considering was, could I do this for the rest of my life? And this is where Optavia excelled and blew away any other thing I was looking at, because we were always focused, as Optavia, we're always focused on what's the next healthy step for you. So part of what Optavia offers is the opportunity to help others along the way. And there are some really cool things that happen when you do that. Coaching others on their journey reminds me of why I started in the first place. It also helps me be accountable to myself because I don't want to be talking the talk if I'm not walking the walk. And that's not to say that my journey is exactly the same as all my clients. It's not. But the fact that I'm moving forward in my life with my health as a priority, just like they are, makes us the perfect team. So for the past 3 years, I have had a part-time job as a teacher's aide in elementary school, and I have loved it. This last year, I started coaching as well at the same time. And when the school year started, I noticed that Optavia was paying me more for my efforts with my clients than the school was with my efforts there. So I made the decision to let that other job go and increase the time I spent on my coaching business, and I have been so happy with that decision. This last year, through my hard work, growing my Optavia business has helped us financially in so many ways. Not only that, but because of the mindset training I've received, I've been able to practice handling emotions with my family a lot. My husband just finished his master's degree online last week. Woo! So happy that's done. Helping him through that and my kids through school and life. You may think that when you learn skills in Optavia for your coaching business, that it's just for that. But let me tell you, I use these skills daily in helping my fellow humans navigate towards their goals and dreams.
Mila, I love your story. And one of the things that I love about her story is like she's really transformed. Isn't it an amazing time for us to be able to consider, like, can we have that transformation too? And we just have to choose it. So some of you guys came to this call to learn more about coaching. So we're going to end our call with some basics of what it would look like for you to pay it forward to others. So stick around if you're curious about any of the following topics. The secret of how to be 500% more likely to reach and maintain your healthy weight, how much money coaches make, how other info on what it might look like to pay it forward and help others. So otherwise, thank you for joining the Healthy Together time, and we will see you guys next week.